So it's the 12th of March 2025. Thank you for being here, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Segments. I'm going to go around the group and just ask you to introduce yourselves. My name's Alexis Constantinou. I'm the founder of Sacred Segments. It originally was called something else. It started in my home many years ago, and a load of actors used to come to the group along with family members, and it was based on the law of attraction, and it was kind of called the Secret Support Group, and then it was called something else, and all the actors got lead parts, and they ended up on TV. And then I thought, hey, that's weird, what about me? And then I went through a relationship breakup, and then met somebody, and then traveled the world for 3 years. I had lots of mystical experiences, and decided that it was something that I wanted to kind of use as a platform for other people to share their wonderful gifts. And my ultimate goal with Sacred Segments is to have a TV show where it incorporates cookery, comedy, music, psychotherapy, all types of holistic therapies, and just a platform for people to live a better life. And we're all learning, right? We're all learning all the time, and we can never say we've arrived. Just a little bit about me. I don't want to go on too much. Tamara, would you want to introduce yourself and a little bit about you?
My name is Tamara, and I am currently in Saginaw, Michigan. I have been doing sound healing and talking to angels since my son's near-death experience. He was hit by a car and thrown 150 feet while riding a bicycle when he came to Michigan to get a job. A week before the job started, I got a phone call. I rushed to Michigan on a plane, and they explained he was for sure going to die. And not to get my hopes up. And then a vegetable or die. And he got infection after infection. It was very frightening. We finally woke up from this and exclaimed, Jesus is real. Jesus is real. I saw Padre Pio. He healed me. And the grandmas were there. And they were purple and blue lights. And there was millions of angels wearing light blue. Yeah, it was really exciting. And then he kind of passed out again for a little bit. But it was amazing. And that's why I've been painting angels since his experience. For 1 year, I've been painting angels. And it's been such a blessing. And I've been doing crystal bowls and chimes for Alan for his traumatic brain injury. And we did a group there at his hospital even for the stroke support group. And they loved it. So that's a little about me. I also like to sing. I got a lot of instruments. Don't anybody rob me. But we just sit around and play music and love God all day. That's what we do. But it wasn't always like that, friend. You know, my house burned down when I was a single mother with 4 kids. Nobody helped me. My family never helped me, and they could have. You know, but I've learned that I am worthy and that I am enough, and I don't need approval from people who don't love me. And I can tell the difference now.
Wow.
And I'm just really happy to be on earth right now during this shift that we're all experiencing.
Wow.
And I hope that this day will bless you, because it is very important. Big happy thoughts. Because your word is your wand. What you think is going to manifest down the line here, or maybe even immediately. So what if everything works out fine? That's a better thing than worry. What if it works out perfectly or something better?
You're speaking my language, and I see the angel in you, and I'm so glad you found us.
Me too.
So glad. Lovely to meet you, Tamara.
Love you.
What a beautiful soul
Must
you are.
visit.
Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bonnie.
Yes.
Hey, great to see you. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, I'm not hearing you, Alexis.
Okay.
Are you?
Just tell us a little bit about yourself, if you can hear me now.
Oh, about myself?
Yeah,
Okay. A little bit.
just a little bit.
I'm 72 and I'm been a mother. I've been a flight attendant for 16 years. I was a nurse for 27 years, and I'm a near-death experiencer. And through my near-death experience, it changed me 100%. And so through that experience, hopefully I now can help people reach their own consciousness so that they can create them and not something else, not somebody else, but them. And that's what I'm going to try to do today, help with that a little bit. I've also very interested in UFOs and have had some encounters in my NDE with alien beings. And I've also had, I'm not going to say an abduction experience as a child, but I've had encounters with them as a child. And so it's very real to me. I almost got committed to the hospital in the insane asylum this past week because I believe in this stuff and they don't. And it kind of got me in trouble. And so, I got to either press forward and keep going or go hide like they want me to do. And I choose not to hide. And that's who and what I am.
You are awesome, Bonnie. I'm so glad that I know you. I'm so glad that you're part of this group. I know the truth of your being and you're amazing. I'm really, really glad that you're here. Thank you. Denise, wonderful to see you as always. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Tell
Can
us
you
a
hear
little
me
about
all right?
you. Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm Denise. I'm based in Hastings in Sussex in England. I had a spiritual awakening in 2003 after the passing of my brother, and my whole world changed in 100 different ways, of course, without my brother. However, there was an instant pulling on the top of my head, connecting me with something other than myself, which was quite scary at the time, because that was my first experience of anything spiritual at all, to my knowledge. And from that, I developed a therapy, sort of holistic therapy practice 20 years ago. 20 years ago this summer. Primarily, that started off with Reiki, and mindfulness, and massage, and nutrition. I mostly work now with parents and children with trauma or neurodivergent families, and I've devised my own therapy system called root source therapy, which is about clearing subconscious beliefs and trauma from the body. Yeah, that's me. Can't hear you.
I know that
I've got to meet you.
I know that you're such a multi-dimensional being. I'm so glad that you came into all of our lives. Thank you,
Thank you.
Denise. Glad you're here. And I look forward to your share later. I know it's going to be good. Todd, we've never spoken before, but I feel like I recognize your energy, and not just because I've seen you on Facebook, but it's kind of like a soul recognition, if you know what I mean. And yeah, I'm excited to meet you. Glad you're here. Tell us a little bit about you.
Wow. Well, as we all know, everything's coming in at a more and more multi-dimensional way. And everything behind us, you might say our traumas, we've figured out to leave that behind. That's not who we are. It was part of what got us to this point, but what's important is where we are and where we're going. But at the same time, in regard to what I'm feeling from y'all and where I'm going with this, my part of it, who I am, because who I am is right now. The future. Like, I've done over 6,000 video productions, 4,000, over 4,000 podcasts. I've talked to a lot of people. I've been there with you. And I've always tried to capture the moment. I thought I was coming to a place where everybody knew each other, and to hear your stories, it's not the words, it's not the story, it's the transparency, the purity. And that's the biggest secret on the earth. I was listening to you, all of you, and I was thinking, wow, I would love to put this band of frequencies and brothers and sisters in unity out. Like just what I just listened to, what I just witnessed and experienced. So I'm very honored to be here. I recognize grace and what we have in our hearts, in our souls, and our minds is the real grid. It's us. It's never left us. It's here. It's coming back. We can get involved in these narratives of this person's against this and this and that and the Illuminati, but it's us. It's us. And thank you all for showing up. So, I'm Todd Medina. I was born in Corpus Christi, Texas. That's the body of Christ on the Gulf of Mexico. I've been all over the place and done a lot of things, and honored to be here in this moment. And that's all that really matters to me because it feels right. And thank you.
Wow. Thank you. The name Sacred Segments has always felt kind of a little, I've been a little embarrassed about it because sometimes people get the wrong idea about what this group is all about, but it truly is. It truly is sacred to be here with all of you. And, you know, I recognize the sacredness in all of you and in this moment. And Todd, I feel the ancient quality and the wisdom of your soul and the truth of who you are is so beautiful. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. My darling Grethe, hello. Good to see you.
My darling Alexis, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Having adventures, haven't you?
I am having adventures. I'm having adventures and I'm having growth and I'm having joy and I'm having difficult emotions and I'm having healing and I'm having hurt and I am living. So
Ellen, come here.
I'm from Norway. I currently live in Scotland, which is its own little adventure and challenge. And I'm an energy healer and coach. And the last few years, I've also been learning Tantra. So I become a tantric practitioner. Basically, what I do is I help people figure out what they want, and I help them get their subconscious mind in alignment with what they want. And with Tantra, I also help myself and my clients and other people along my path connect more deeply with themselves. And from that, increase their ability to connect more deeply with others. And I think that's so important, learning, connecting with yourself, learning about your wishes, needs, desires, yeses and nos, learning to be authentic. If you can trust my no, like if I say no to you from time to time, you can trust my yes. I won't put myself aside to please you. Learning all of these things is so important. And Yeah, that's the path that I'm on. I'm going to Bali for all of April to join a Tantra teacher training, which I'm really excited about to deepen. And my teachers are probably some of the best in the world, I think. And it's all about bringing the sacredness into everything we do, into every activity, every aspect of life, into meeting others, into lovemaking. It's like bringing sacredness, being, with the divine on a more conscious level. And Bali is called Island of the Gods, and they have such like their building codes dictates that you have to have a temple on the grounds,
Wow.
and prayers are such an integral part of everyday life there, which for me being there is so wonderful because it allows me to be so soft and so like open. So I'm excited about that. And also it's a place where transformation happens fast. There's so much growth. So looking forward to that. And also later today, I'm going to share a bit from my latest adventure, which was Joe Dispenza event that I just attended a week and a half ago. And it was amazing. So I'm looking forward to share that with you. And I'm going to help Bonnie out with some drumming, which I'm also excited about because I've been called to have a shamanic drum and I've actually made two. One is there and I don't know how to like use it, but I do it sometimes. And I'm going to trust that Spirit's going to guide me and everything is going to be perfect. And before I end my introduction, Alexis, I wanted to ask if I could do a little invitation of Spirit into this sacred segment. So I'll do a consecration, consagrado of this gathering. I'm getting nods, so I'm going to do it.
Consagrado. Can
Yeah,
I just can I put something out there too? Because
yeah,
I feel this whole thing is it's incredible.
yeah.
It feels like a first meeting or something. I don't know. When y'all start drumming,
Yeah.
not to if it appears after you get started that I have this knack or whatever to freestyle like consciously uh that way. I've never been able to like write a song and go do it. It's just like I get around and we have a drum circle or whatever, and I would like to at least put that out there if it comes up. Thank you.
Thank you. For me, I'm completely open. I'm gonna put it to Bonnie to answer that because it's her segment and we're supporting her. So whatever she's welcoming, I'm welcoming.
If you guys are led to do something, please do it.
Okay. Looks like we're gonna have a wonderful co-creation today. So may I consecrate this sacred segments. I invite grace to be with us as we give our bodies, our minds, our spirits, our hearts, our souls to God, Goddess, to the expansion of consciousness itself, to the universe, to Mother Earth, to Father Sky. May we have a wonderful time together. May we share from our hearts and may we share in the best possible ways the sharings and teachings that come to us so that they can be received in a soft yet impactful way. May this meeting benefit us, may it benefit everyone in our lives and everyone who will watch the recording. May this meeting spread good vibrations and joy and happiness and allow people to connect deeper with themselves and with others. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Thank you, Alexis.
Your journey has been so incredible. I've seen you move from country to country, and you come out of working for the military, the Norwegian military, and you step into this incredible goddess energy that you always were, you know, and I'm
Thank you.
so humbled just to see your journey. Amazing. And we met on a law of attraction platform from the Abraham teachings.
Yeah.
And it was just right that I contacted Grethe, you know, as this is all right now, you know, we all come together at exactly the right time because we're meant to, right? And I just wanted to recognize the awesome synchronicity and organizing power of the universe. The amazing infinite organizing power of the universe is at play always through us. And we forget that sometimes. I'm reminding myself as I say it. Order of play today, okay? If anybody has any time restrictions, please let me know. If you would like to go first or second, then please speak it. At just after past now, I would like Todd to be second and do your main segment, if that's okay. First of all, Bonnie, if you are there and if you're ready, I would like you to go. And then afterwards, Denise, if that's okay. And then Grethe. And then Tamara, whatever you have to share, then please share at that moment. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. I'll just, before we hand over to Bonnie, I just want you to place your hands on your knees for just for a moment. And just close your eyes and breathe deeply and just realize that you are a spark of the infinite. And just contact the living essence of the Mother Earth and ask her with humility to send the violet flame of transmutation and protection and healing through us all. Visualize this coming up through the soles of the feet as high as you can imagine, honoring the goddess that is Earth in this visualization, seeing the transmuting violet fire coming up through us and through the Earth, transmuting all lower frequencies on the planet now with our visualization, with our intention, with our imagination. Seeing that violet flame blaze through the whole of the earth and throughout the whole of the cosmos as far as our imaginations can extend. Letting go of that visualization momentarily and contacting a white beam of light that represents the masculine counterpart of the feminine, and seeing that coming down through all of the bodies into the soles of the feet. Grateful, so grateful, and just detaching from that visualization for a moment. Thank you, everyone. Bonnie, over to you.
Did you just turn it over to me?
I did.
Okay. I can hear everybody but you, Lexus.
I'll talk louder.
So here is the what's going to happen here is I'm going to have Tamara and Grethe start playing. Grethe's going to play the drums, and Tamara's going to play the chimes. And so they've never played together, so this should be very interesting. And I believe they're going to do really well. So at that point, we're going to go into a quietness. And the point of my exercise is to create. And I've asked you to bring something to create with, a paper, a pencil, something that you might have. And just like when you are talking on the telephone to somebody and on the side you are doodling, okay, when you are doodling, you are consciously creating. And so now, as they begin to play the drums and play their rhythm, I want you to try to do your best to go inside you and not inside anybody else but yourself. And let's try to connect with us, okay? All right. Let's have them play.
Brothers and sisters, we're on the precipice of everything we've worked for, all these incarnations in the human soul's journey. We went from finding our soul to finding our human to finding the human soul. It's time to get bold. The grandmothers and grandfathers are calling us out. Rebirth, new earth. It's time to unfold again.
Thank you. Thank you. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. this point, I want you to close your eyes, all of you. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to breathe. Breathe in and hold it and breathe out. I want you to breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. I want you to breathe in and hold it and breathe out. And as you breathe and as you hear the drums beat, you allow yourself to depart from the noise around you and you go inside yourself and you pick up your favorite color and you look at it and you connect. That is my color. And on the paper, with your eyes closed, either with your opposite hand that's dominant or your dominant hand, I want you to just start to draw a string and connect it on that paper, just like you're doodling all over the paper. And you let that go. And you breathe in and you breathe out. And you breathe in and you breathe out. And you breathe in and you breathe out. And you can look at that paper and you can look at that color. And from that color, you can find your next color, the color of you. What color makes you happy? Find your color that makes you happy and draw, scribble on that paper, doodle, just like you're talking on the phone, and have no control over where that pencil or pen or marker or paintbrush goes. And you may be actually writing right now, and that's okay too. Just wherever your thoughts go without contriving it, without making it happen. We're letting go of control. And as we let go of control and we rest in the privateness of our colors, our inner voice begins to manifest. And we no longer judge ourselves by the person who's sitting next to us. There is no reason to judge yourself because you are you and you are unique and you're special. And even though it may be the flamingo compared to the brown wren, that doesn't mean the brown wren isn't just as important as the flamingo. We are all, every one of us, important. And those colors that you pick up, they are you. And some of you might see circles. And some of you might have lines, or you may have pyramids, or you may have flowers, or you may have a horse or a cat or a cloud or sun. But whatever you have on that paper, put you on there. Don't put me on there. Put you, because you are most important. So often when we are creating, we judge ourselves. So often we hold up our work compared to somebody else. And when we do that, we belittle the other person and we put ourselves in a smaller place. And nobody is in a small place. You are absolutely unique. And as you begin to draw that picture and those lines, and when we get off of here, you may want to continue to draw on that as we speak and talk. And that's okay, because sometimes you can hear better when you create. And as you create, you color in the colors that are most pleasing to you. And you can glue on your paper, and you can cut and paste. And you can take pictures and put it on there. And you can put the stars on there and the moon. And now I'm going to ask the drummers, Grethe, and Tamara, to start back up a little bit. And let's just take us down into the next area, please. Thank you.
I didn't hear Tamara so well, so I'm wondering if you have the original sound from
I
your
am
speakers
really
on.
sorry because my dog came out and started barking.
Okay. Just make sure you have that original sound for musicians on, because otherwise Zoom will cancel out your sounds.
Do what?
There is a setting in audio settings.
Yes, I had to mute it. My dogs were barking.
Yes, but also when you're not muted, if you have the function original sound for musicians, we can hear your instruments, and if you don't, we can't hear them.
How do you do that again, Greta?
There is a little the microphone next to it. There's a little arrow where you mute and unmute yourself.
Okay, share.
You click that arrow.
Okay.
Wait, I'm looking. I see the share.
Next to the audio button, not the share. So you have the audio and video button. Next to the audio button, there's a little arrow. It's not the share one. It's the little tiny one next to the audio.
Mute, stop video, participants, reactions, share, record.
No. So all the way to the
AI
left.
companion.
You know where you turn your sound on and off, mute on and off? You know that button?
Yes.
Yes, right next to it, like it's part of the button. When you hover over it, there's a little arrow.
You know what? I'm going to work on this, and maybe I can come back.
No, don't go. Don't leave. Let's try.
I gotta go put this dog away. I cannot concentrate. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I am really sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Bonnie, do you want me to drum?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I'll drum.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I keep calling you Grethe. I'm sorry. I keep calling you Grethe. It's Greta. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. Maybe you have something new on here, Alexis. Alexis, are you there?
Thank you, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. That was awesome. Loved it. And I only had like just a regular piece of paper.
Oh, wow.
It turned into like a cosmic thing. It was cool.
That is beautiful.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah. I started mine last night because I had to see if this would work. And so
Hold it right up to the camera.
You can't see it. Okay, never mind.
Hold it to your body like that.
Yeah.
You
Hold it
what?
hold it on your body. Hold it on your body.
Okay.
Like,
Why is it that?
you can see it a little bit. You keep disappearing.
It kind of looks like
Oh, wow.
yeah, wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Right.
guys.
No, you can paint these after, you never finish.
No,
You just paint, continue with it. That's all.
great.
Mine doesn't have color because it's like it's a digital thing without color, but it's supposed to be pink.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Oh,
wonderful.
that's pretty. I see angels in there. Todd,
Hmm.
you are next. Thank you, guys. That was beautiful.
Hold it to your body, Todd, then we can see
Oh,
it.
yeah, Todd, hold it on your body again one more time.
Ah, yeah. I have some of the same shapes in mine. Cool.
Awesome. Denise, did you do anything? Any doodling?
You're muted, Denise.
I haven't got colours on it. I just got
I
lots
see.
of scribbles, and then I've got pink and teal, and then these
Lovely.
like hearts amongst hearts, amongst hearts, amongst hearts.
Very cool.
Take
Well, thank you for sharing, guys. We're going to move to the next segment now. And Todd, it's your floor. If everyone else could please mute, unless we have time for questions at the end of Todd's segment, and then we can unmute and ask Todd questions.
How long do you want
We
me
have
to take?
15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, all right, okay, all right. Um, my name's Todd. I met you all. I'm honored to be here. Um, I try to do everything as time has gone on. I'm sure you can relate to it. That it's very much you're trying to find the flow, follow the synchronicities and such, and so that's how I felt with Alexis. And I missed 2 weeks prior because of some personal things that were happening. I live in Mexico right now with my wife. We've been together 10 years, and we've had this, across the world relationship, and weren't together for 3 years, and all these energies happening. And then Alexis hit me up, and I really felt his energy. It was even more powerful today. And by the way, I got to say, you got one of the coolest beards I've ever seen.
Thank you.
uh, but yeah, so and then to come into the space, and I was like, oh, I thought this was like a weekly group, but everybody, it was so fresh and so new, it was so powerful. Um, so when he reached out, it was in regard to me coming back online, so to speak, because about 12 years ago, I started coming online on lives, like right when you could start doing that. Very few people were doing it. And I used to do these spirit walks because when I reawoke in May of 2011, 6 weeks later, I went homeless. Now, this is after having kids in my house for 23 years, a corporate career, 6 figures, all blah, 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 all the way down to destitution. I chose to go homeless. And I'm only telling this story for the purpose of what I felt from Alexis when I felt his energy and what would you speak about? And it was about being in a constant communion. So, after all this trauma, and I've interviewed many people, and I'm sure you can relate, we had these traumas. We had, even in some cases, successive traumas that woke us up or that were those dark nights of the souls that were entrances into the initiations to remember and to get to where we are today. I didn't know this at the time. I wasn't on the internet, and I left to go homeless on the streets, losing my family, my job, my prestige, my freedom. I went to jail. All kinds of stuff happened, and I said I got to go on the streets. And the only thing that was coming in was from my higher aspects, you might say, the you, me, we, and it, Jesus and Archangel Michael and different prophets and different, I guess you would say metaphysical icons or consciousnesses or that type of thing. So there was so much polarity between the divine connection or to infinite intelligence that I was receiving, including apparitions and things that were not explainable happening. But at the same time, I was on the streets and I was running with angels and devils at the same time from the human vernacular. And it took me through a process for about 4 years. 2 of those years on the streets, right? In Houston, Texas, in the streets. I mean, in the underground, And what kept coming back was the infinite expanse of the field in all regards, be it very dense in the human or very multidimensional. And we all like to be out there sometimes and get away from this place. But I think we're all getting to the same place where we've got to bring it into the body now, which is why I find this very important today for me. And I'm happy to share with you. So, in those moments, as I was aligning with, neutralizing, releasing, healing, whatever you want to call it, from all the vast human traumas and dramas and this and that, doing it very hardcore, not to recommend that to anybody. But at the same time, the higher clarity and intelligence was coming in, the third eye was opening, etc. So there was a direct relationship. And I used to say, I have proven to myself, I can share it, that you can lose your mind, you can lose your life, you can lose everything that makes any sense and still find your soul. So in that time, I spent many, many days, most every day, walking because I didn't have a place to live or hang out or, hang out on the couch. And I had to do that. I had to keep moving to keep my spirit alive, I guess you would say. And in the process, I developed what I call a constant communion. And the constant communion was as I was walking alone in tears, in the heat, whatever the case was, pulling whatever I had with me that I owned with me. I was in a space of me and the universe as my complement, as my other half. And the birds and the wind and everything spoke louder and louder while the human is going through this other extreme. So fast forward to today, because the technology is us, the information is more impactful, we process it very quickly, and we can communicate on a whole different level, even if it's not my words or your words. And I was very moved by all of you. It was the energy that I felt, not the story, the energy. That's what we have in common. And that's what I feel like we're coming to. And where does a constant communion come in? Well, after running into Alexis, and I went with whatever I'm doing, even up to today, went to some doctors and this and that with my wife, and going through certain things as we all go through in this ascension. Regardless of our multidimensionality, our human is still here and our body is present, saying, I am part of this. I am the physical Merkabah. This is the kind of technology or atmosphere that we're entering. So as I was got back with about an hour and a half to go, I started to think about, what did I say? What did I commit to? The human part of it. What are you going to say? Just let it come out. And now it's coming out. So where it's come to today is this for me. And I believe that we can all relate to this. I really do. We were born with this. We came into this world, this realm, this successive amount of incarnations as human beings or not. Some of us might be one life, some could be 1,000. It doesn't matter because it's all beehive intelligence and we all pull from that. But the point being is we came in with something that we'll leave with. So there must be some importance about the period between when we come in and when we leave. And I've always believed this is a summary life. Everything comes up now. Everything comes up here, especially now and from here forward. And it really is all on us. So what I saw and what I felt and what I experienced all came into alignment as I listened to y'all, you all, I'm from Texas, y'all, tell your stories. All very different, but all the same. I see Gaia TV and I see Coast to Coast and I see these other big headliner things. And I did Sology and Soul Speaks 5D for 4,000 plus episodes. And it's not about the credit. It's not about that. But these supposed aberrations, these clickbait titles, when you go into these platforms and you listen to the people, when it's beyond the pretentiousness, it's the same story. It's the same exact story. And this is what I feel is the most contagious, positive, expansive embodiment, soul, spirit, human flesh that we can share. Is to tell our stories. Not from victimhood, but from, wow, I am soul. I recognize Alexis from past lives. We do this all the time. This is the reality. This is it. In my journey going back to dark and light, in 2016, walking through a cemetery, I was shown both ends. We are the center of all that. As humans, we can't fully understand it. There's so many narratives. There's so many things there's so many different things. We get caught up in the multidimensionality that brought us to the party and awakened us and brought us the code that we needed to get to the point that we are at now, but we may have overlooked. That deep within the shadows, so to speak, of the human experience lies our true multidimensionality, and that is to be a human being incarnated, to come to the awareness that you are an eternal soul, and to take the experience that we've had to this point and share that code. These little groups like this, it's always been a paradox. When we really get an epiphany or revelation, everything's upside down. But this type of space is as powerful as 1,000 nuclear bombs. It's penetrating through the etheric, the physical, and the non-physical, integrating and merging in this incredible place we've all chose to come to at this time. And there's not one person I have to ask in this room. If at some point your life hasn't been hell, beam me up, get me the hell out of here. But we're here. We're fucking here. And I'll just end with this, because you may not know, and I'll just give you a general thing. Just like you, I got a download. Just like the people I talked to over the years got a download. And in that download, something came out where that was purposeful, that was serving, as some of you spoke to. Through my download, through my embodiment of my own healing, basically, I can now share this. And that's something I've seen. I believe we're doing the same thing that began on or around 2012 for 12 years. In 2025, we're in a new atmosphere, and I'm not a predictor and I'm not a prophet and all that. All I'm saying is, from what I'm getting from the mother, and I will tell you straight up, I serve the mother goddess. I can't go past that. It's a chicken and the egg, and we know that. Who created, but the mother goddess is the full thing. The mother goddess is the space in between. If you look at an atom and there's 99.7% empty space, that's her. So what I'm saying is that I believe the way that this, we talk about ease and grace, the way that this becomes more expansive with more ease and grace is as we step into it and I would just say, and I try not to use negative connotations because they've been telling me that for years, to not, to look at the value of moments like this, just to take it in for a moment, because we all know when we receive energy and we receive real code, we don't have to be there for hours and hours in an ashram. We can really take it in and understand it and move forward. And that's really what the gift seems to be, because we are actually the living word in form, having a life review in form. Somebody mentioned a near-death experience. I've had two. And what happens? In some way or another, when those things occur, you have a life review. You have a moment where you understand that everything you thought, said, and did, how it felt on the other end, whether you were consciously or unconsciously aware of what you did, whether you meant this or meant that, what it felt like over there, another perspective. This is what we're doing, I believe. I'm not saying we're going to do it, but we have the potential to apply the universal code that only this place has been given to this point in the physical in a thick density and basically walk the talk. Constant communion. We always had it. It's always been there. It's that conversation between Todd and Big Todd, or the you, me, we, and it, whatever you want to call it. Mother Mary, God, Goddess, Source. It's always been there. The last thing I'll say is this, and thank you very much for having me. I have found that as time has moved on, what matters is the present. And I used to say years ago, when I first started doing videos, that ascension's like on a scale of 1 to 10, and on Monday you get to 10, and then you wake up on Tuesday and 10 is now the 1, and there's another scale of 1 to 10. And there is some truth to that, of course, but we have reached a place now where spiritual confidence is not um, a superior, connotation. It is a knowing. It is a belief, a trust, a love, honesty, reverence, and transparency, and we can let go or be dragged. So I would say this to everyone that I would ever meet in this band of frequencies. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Never underestimate the power of one unique and equal soul, especially your own and my own. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd. I got to say that, your energy is very fatherly to me. When you said you recognize me as somebody from that you knew in another life, I feel that too. And some people believe that we've been everything to everyone, right? Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions?
I have something to say. Thank you, Todd. I'm sorry for the interruption. And I apologize for that time. And I may have to go a little early. Okay. I love you.
Wonderful.
Especially you. So please accept my apology for the disruption.
You got to do what you got to do, right? Thank you. And Todd, really beautiful. Thank you. Really beautiful. You're such a beautiful soul. And you have such a gentleness with the fatherly energy, you know, because like when you think of a father, well, when I do, I kind of think of like, that there is great strength, but that you have such gentle energy as well. It's very beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay. Grethe, would you like to go next?
Yes, I would love to.
Sorry, I twisted it round. It was supposed to be Denise, but if you guys are okay with that.
I'm very happy with that. You know, I'm a morning person and I work better the earlier it is in the morning. So luckily now I'm in the same time zone as you, Alexis, because I used to be an hour ahead, so it was later for me. So this is perfect. In 2023, I made a vision board with images, and I made an image of myself at a Joe Dispenza event, and I wanted it to be in 2023. That didn't happen because his events sell out like this, so you have to really pay attention. And it's been a dream of mine for years. And he was one of my first spiritual teachers. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, I think, was one of the first books I read. I found it in a detox and yoga retreat in Bali, which was the first time I was there, and I was struggling. And I started reading his books and following his work. And he says, and I agree, that the hardest part of his work, which is basically meditating, is to actually set aside the time and sit down and do it. Doing the meditations isn't hard. I mean, yeah, your body can kind of give you a hard time and want to do everything else but meditate, but it's not like it's a difficult skill that you have to gain or something. It's setting aside the time and actually doing it. That's the hard bit. So in this event I went to, it was a Friday evening to Sunday evening event in Basel. And it was actually event number 2 out of 2. First, he scheduled one. It sold out. He had scheduled one in Paris that he had to cancel because someone told me that according to the law in France, he wasn't allowed to share about the benefits of meditation, like health benefits and so on. And that's a really big part of what he does. So he canceled it. And then they did an extra event in Basel, which was really cool because I went to number 2, meaning the space had already been charged for 3 days with this event by 8,000 people before, and then 8,000 new people came in. And he's just such a rock star. I think that he is probably the most, like the biggest expert on meditation in the West. The amount of research he has done on every aspect of it and his events and with his research teams, and the way like he measures brain waves and all sorts of, you know, molecules in the body and whatnot. So he explains so well the science behind what happens in meditation. He also explained really well. He was teaching us how to breathe to activate the pineal gland. And each and every step of that, he explains how the cerebrospinal fluid starts moving up and how that starts a spin of electron, how that creates a magnetic field, how this fluid affects the cilia, like the hair-like structures on the pineal gland, how that affects the little crystals inside, and how that creates a magnetic field. from the pineal gland and how that expands until it can't anymore, and then it starts contracting, and that pushes on the crystals. And then he put and he guided us through like really well, like step by step how to do it. And then he put like 10 people on stage to demonstrate with people who are practiced with this how they instantly go into this state. And he's like, some of them are going to look like they're having seizures. They're all going to be okay. Some of them are going to lean back. And it truly happened. It was really powerful to see. And so how he just so eloquently explains everything and how powerfully he guides us through the meditations was such an amazing experience in itself. And he says multiple times, like, when you know the science behind this, your motivation to actually meditate is going to increase. And he also shared a lot of stories of how the effects of the meditations, like people healed from incurable diseases. And he shared a story about his daughter who was like maybe 15 or so. And he said that they would have projects every summer where she would manifest something through meditation. And he was asking her in the beginning of summer, what do you want to do this time? And she was like, I want to go on a big shopping spree. I want to spend a lot of money, and I want it to be in one of my favorite stores, and I want to be able to buy my brother some presents and so on. And so she meditated on this for weeks. And and the job is you meditate on it and then you forget about it. You don't go looking for it, because the moment you go looking for it, you're aware that you don't have it. And also, when you look for it, you can only look in the places you know and expect, but you're actually connecting with the unknown. And if you're manifesting something that's even more wonderful than you could ever imagine, you're not going to know what it is. You're not going to know where to look, so you don't look for it. And then she was with her best friend, not thinking about this, and they went into her favorite store. And then the owner goes up to her best friend and says, aren't you so-and-so's daughter? And she says, yeah. You know what? Your father changed my life. Something happened. I want to thank him. So I'm going to give you the company credit card. Take as long as you want, and you can buy whatever you want. And she spent $7,500 on her shopping spree. So he kept telling stories like that, and I'm like, I'm gonna meditate on this, you know. And then in one of the meditations, we're doing something where you change a negative belief into a positive belief. And I was working on having a negative belief around not being able to make a lot of money doing what I love. Changing that into the opposite, right? And I was struggling in the meditation, and he want you to like get into an elevated emotion, and I couldn't, and I was struggling, and I was thinking about the issue and trying to get an elevated emotion, and I couldn't because I hadn't had that experience. So then I had to kind of change my tactics and think about something like my godson, and that gave me an elevated emotion. So it's not related to the issue, but I felt like, did I waste an opportunity here being so bad at the meditation, even though he says there's no such thing as a bad meditation? But then after the meditation, when I look at my phone, the first message I got was from my friend, who I was going to go to Norway after this. And then my friend texted me, hey, I have 2 people who wants tantra massages. So if you're free at some point when you're in Norway, and this is something I love and it pays really well. So I was like, okay, this is working. Even if it was a bad meditation, it's actually working. He talks a lot about where you focus your energy. And that really hit me, because a few weeks earlier, I was really, really ill. So I got this really bad cold. For the first few days, I was working, I could still work. And then all my energy disappeared, and I couldn't even listen to an audiobook or a podcast. I couldn't give my energy and attention to anything. that made me really aware that whatever we're taking in, we think we're taking it in, but we're actually giving our energy to it. And he's really clear about this. When we are thinking about the past, when we are thinking about a person that we have, beef with or hurt feelings with, we're giving energy to that. When we're thinking about the future, trying to anticipate where we have fear, where we have worry, we're giving our energy to that. When we are in the present moment, when we take our energy back from that, every time you're in meditation and you watch yourself drifting, you bring yourself back, you bring your energy back to yourself and to the present moment, to the void and to the unknown. And the unknown is where it all happens. All of the manifestation, everything you want is in the unknown. And it was so interesting because then there was a toilet break and my sister was standing there waiting for me, and I came out and I was drying my hands and I was looking at her, like really intently sending my energy to her, and she was like looking back at me, and I was like, yeah, because I'm sending you energy. So I become so aware of where I'm sending my energy. I find that really interesting, and pulling it back to myself, really giving myself back that energy. Where your attention goes, energy flows, right? So he really explained that super well, and explains things multiple times, and he engages the audience like, did you get that? Did everyone understand? And then he says, you didn't all understand. So he kind of reads the room in a way. Do I have a couple more minutes to share something really cool
Yeah,
it is?
two more minutes.
2 more minutes. Okay, so after every break, when we came in, there were a lot of people in front of the stage dancing and like really raising the energy. So after the breaks, we danced. And on Sunday morning, they handed out little bracelets. Nobody explained what they were or what they were for, but everyone just, as a good little Joe Dispenza sheep we were, we just put them on. And then after lunch on Sunday, the music comes on, he comes out for the last song and he dances. And then the music changes to the next song. They turn the lights completely off. And it's Coldplay's Sky Full of Stars or whatever it's called. And suddenly, some of these bracelets start lighting up. And I was quite high up. I could see all 8,000 people, and you see little lights. And I was like, are they turning their phones on or something? No. Then all of the bracelets light up, a whole sea of lights in there, and the colors change simultaneously and they blink like with the music, and everyone just went wild. Like, this man knows how to create energy, how to put on a show, and he's so talented, so good at what he's doing. And now I'm meditating every day. So that was my, if you can go to a Joe Dispenza event, do it. If you're interested in meditation. Thank you for letting me share, Alexis.
Awesome. Really appreciate you sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as I say, it's been a while. Thank you. It encourages me to recapture my meditation process when talking about the crystals and stuff like that. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's just take a breath and then I'll hand over to Denise. Denise.
Hello. I'm really enjoying listening to everybody. It's lovely to be back in this space after quite a big gap, I think. I don't know how long it's been, but it's lovely to be back. I do recognise Grethe, because my daughter is also called Grethe and spelt the same way, and I remember we had that conversation before. So it's always nice to sort of see that. It's very unusual to sort of see that, and it's nice to follow Grethe, because I pretty much follow Grethe most of my life is following Grethe. So yeah, so I wanted to talk about inner, the relationship between the inner child and the inner critic, based on, well, lots of things really, but I had a session with a new client yesterday. It's a session I called intuitive listening, which is exactly what it sounds like. So I sit and listen to whatever the person needs to unravel in that space, and then I offer sort of reflections about what I can see, and to kind of help raise their awareness and their healing. So I was working with a lady yesterday who came into my arena because she's got two young children who are autistic, and one's struggling at school and the other one can't manage school, so she's with them all the time. Just what Todd said about ease and grace, because they're two of my favourite words, is my parenting support group is called Ease Parenting. So, I believe parenting is one of the most challenging things you can undertake if you choose to do it. And I wanted to make this, I want to lift parents out of a place of struggle, out of fear and into love and ease. So we always like, whenever anyone posts anything about the struggles that they're having, we always want to bring them, like, what solution brings the most ease for them. So I picked up the ease and grace words there. But one of the things I was working with this lady is she experiences a lot of guilt and shame, so much so that it's there all of the time. So it's like her baseline. So her baseline mood is she's feeling a sense of heaviness, guilt and shame, and she can kind of manage and she can get through the day, but if something goes wrong in her day, she goes into a complete spiral to the point where, oh, sorry, I just need to plug my laptop in.
Just while you're doing that, I just want to tell you that Denise and I have worked together on The Voice. I'm a voice teacher, and I just want to say how beautiful your voice is, Denise. It's so lovely to listen to. It has such gorgeous tones in there. So I just want to encourage you to keep singing and keep using your voice, because you've got such a beautiful tone.
Oh, thank you. I've actually just done a course about being more confident on camera.
Oh, good.
So this was
a nice opportunity to use it.
This is a good one. Sorry for the slight interval. So yes, this client's she has this baseline of guilt and shame that she feels all the time, and then something will go wrong in her day, and then she will completely spiral to the point of believing that her children would be better off without her. She doesn't really want to be around. She can't do it. She sucks. She's terrible. She's the worst mother in the world. None of which those things are not true. So the way that I was working with her yesterday is that I asked her to identify where she was feeling that feeling in her body, and she couldn't identify it because it was all over her. It was in her whole energy, in her whole space. And then I asked her if she could remember the first time that she felt these feelings of guilt and shame. And she went straight to a memory of when she was 5, and she was with her dad and her dad's friends, and she went to run across the road, and her dad shouted at her, pulled her back, and then screamed and shouted and humiliated her in front of all of his friends. And her dad was normally very calm and gentle, so she was in total shock. So she went into, she was crying and upset, but she was just getting told off, and then the mum was telling her off. So she went into this whole feeling of total upset at 5 years old. And she pulled out a couple of other as well. There was quite a few in there to pull out, but the work that I did with her is, it just so happens that her youngest child is 5. And I said, if your son had done that, what would you have done? What would you have done? So she said, oh, I would have shouted to get his attention, but then I would have explained why, and we need to keep him safe, and is he okay, and sorry to give him a shock, and then diffuse it, and all these lovely conscious parents for wanting to make sure they're safe afterwards. So I said, well, what does a 5-year-old need? You know, then instead of getting shouted at, what did she need? And so she repeated a lot of the same things. So I like creating the space for her to reparent, you know, and receive what she would have wanted to hear. So the reason why I do it like that is because that guilt and shame is very old in her, and it's from a younger place. And after her inner critic telling her she's rubbish, she doesn't belong, you know, she shouldn't be here, she's a terrible mother, terrible person. Like we all get to those places every now and again, or depending on where your mental health is at any time, or where life is challenging you. It's like we all have that inner critic, and a lot of that critic comes from when we were much younger. So I just wanted to bring it in because I've become aware of it more with myself as well. How when I make a small mistake, like I lost my bank card, and I told my mum, and my mum gave me this terrible time of like, I shouldn't do this, and all this, trying to give me a consequence, you know, and I'm 49 years old, I don't need a consequence. I felt really bad about a card, and my best friend was going, you don't need to feel bad, you just lost your card, it doesn't matter. But I was telling myself that, oh, you're useless, you never pay attention, you're always in a dream world, you know, you're not responsible. I'd got into a whole spiral, and then the way that my mum responded to me as a grown adult made me realise that all of that critic is everything that I'd heard from her and everything that I had digested myself, and therefore now when my inner critic comes up, I look at that inner child wounding, ask myself, how old am I, and what does my little girl need, and I go back, and then that gives her what she needs, and then I can move on. And like everything, like we know, like Todd mentioned about the scales, there's always layers and layers and layers and layers, but just really want to invite you to think about, like, what's your when things go wrong for you, what happens, what does your inner critic do, and what is it that you say, what are you saying to yourself? Are you saying, I'm not good enough, I'm this, I'm that, I'm useless, I'm lazy, whatever it is, and just kind of to catch it and then talk to that inner critic like you would a little child in your family, or how you were when you were little, or if you're a parent, your own children, you know, and just smother that wound with love and kindness, and halt the critic. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
That's beautiful, Denise. Thank you. Really important. In my work as a teacher of Louise Hay's work, some of you are probably familiar, if not all of you are familiar with Louise Hay.
Yeah.
In the course, we were taught to every morning ask your inner child, what do you want? What can I do for you to make you happy?
Yeah, lovely.
You know, and that really reminded me of that. And also, I sing in a gospel choir, and last week I went to a special workshop by this that was fronted by this lady who was a performance confidence coach. And we're all professional singers, pretty much. All 30 singers in the group, but there was half of the group that felt more confident than the other half, and a lot of the half that were in the confident group weren't the professional singers, and the professional singers were hanging on to all of this shame and feelings of unworthiness, and I was in there.
Yeah.
And she said something that really brought me to tears, actually, which was that remember that when you're using your voice and when you're in front of there, you're being like a kind of a minister, or you're a channel for that supreme God force, or holy power, or whatever it is. And it was a reminder to get your ego out of the way and just allow that force to come through you, like what you were talking about, Todd. It was kind of like the essence of what you were saying, and Grethe, in your story of the meditation and clearing your mind, and Bonnie, when you were teaching us how to just get into the flow and use the colours and everything. These are all linked, right? These ideas of getting ourselves out of the way and just allowing that to come through. And I'm so grateful to share this evening with you. I want to close this session by going around the group one final time and connecting with a power word and a gratitude. So a word that represents the essence of what you would like to connect with and what you would like to share. My power word is acceptance, and the reason that I say that is because my mother's just been given a diagnosis that needs confirmation of a rare form of dementia, and she's been in cognitive decline, and it's been very painful. And acceptance is my power word, and my gratitude is the beauty in all of you, and I recognize the beauty in all of you. Thank you so very much. I'm going to ask you, Bonnie, next, if you would unmute and give me your power word and a gratitude.
Okay, so my power word is actually a vision of climbing the side of a mountain. And as I climb up, and as you climb up, as we all climb up, we are strengthening. So it's strengthen as we climb up. And what was the next part, Alexis?
A gratitude.
Gratitude. I am grateful for the beautiful colors of nature. I love green. And I know green has some negative traits about it, but I love the freshness of green. And it makes me feel springtime. Freshness.
Beautiful. That was my color when you said soul colors. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Bonnie. Denise, you go next.
Yeah, I think I've got two power words. Thanks to Todd reminding me of so ease and grace. So in my current life, there is quite a lot of struggle at the moment. Struggle to get things, to get through, to get support, and I need to make more intention of that having more ease and more grace, and also surrendering to where things are every day rather than where they haven't got to. And I'm grateful that, Alexis, you answered my telepathic call last week where I was like, I don't really tap into my spiritual group enough anymore. I'm not connecting with other spiritual souls. I need to do a bit more of that. And then I got your message the next day. Yeah, okay, there we go. So I appreciate you, whoever you and the powers that be, to bring that in. And I've got a lot out of being here, and I'm really grateful. Thank you.
The infinite power, the infinite organizing power of the universe. Right?
Exactly that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Great to see you, Denise. Grethe, you go next.
Yes. My power word today is the unknown. And my gratitude is it's all of you, it's all of the wonderful people in my life that I can exchange energy with. And today I also want to share my gratitude for my drum, because when you make a drum from scratch, they can sometimes be a bit moody and they can be like sensitive to humidity. And this one is quite thin and it doesn't like dry weather. So I was gonna kind of put it outside for a bit to get some more humidity in it. And then I tried it and it was like perfect. And it has such a nice sound when it has and horrible when it doesn't. So I'm so grateful that the drum was as excited as I was to play today.
It sounded awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greta.
It felt amazing too in the vibrations.
Yeah, and I can still, even though I think that you said that you've given up your cat. I can still feel your cat with you.
This is made from hair from my cat.
I was sensing that there was a connection with the drum and the cat. I could feel it so strongly.
I love it, Alexis.
Wow.
Thank you for saying that. My cat Balder was here with us drumming.
I felt him so strongly. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Whoa.
So cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, Todd. If you could unmute, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I gotta say first that I had my words in mind and all that, but when you said what you said and showed me the, I I think it was 2021. My wife had to go back to Australia. We ended up being apart for 37 months. My hair started falling out. It's like the third time in my life, and I had a bunch. I'm 63, and I guess I have a lot for 63. But so when you said that about the cat, I can't walk. I can't walk down my hall after a week of sweeping it and mopping it without seeing my hair everywhere. So I was just thinking that I could do like 10 of those. um, my word is a word that came to me early on in when I went homeless. Trust. And I know for myself and a lot of people that I've talked to that we get these downloads and then you run on the internet and look to see, if what you're hearing and, is actually not craziness, but actually there's something there. And I think a lot of people have found that, especially now. But when I heard the word trust, it was not a noun, it was motion. It was, I don't know what, for me, it was like the human and the soul together, you know, uh, 50-50. So I went to the dictionary and there's two definitions. And the first one's a noun and the second one's a transitive verb. And I'm sorry, the word being faith. Faith. I misspoke. And the definition is trust, semicolon, to believe. And that's it. But it's a transitive verb, faith. And for me, that's always been my go to. Because regardless of our stories and the influences we've had, the conditioning and so on, and I've said this for many years on the show, crazy isn't crazy anymore. And I think we can all point to the recent let's say, couple of years, certainly a few months, were people that we couldn't connect with in a reality basis are starting to ask questions, and they're coming to the crazy people to get the answers. All of us were estranged from our families. But my point is, something's changed. And why would we move away from that which got us here in the first place? I'm grateful for this. And what I mean by that is, I'm a big fan of Joseph Campbell. And he said, if you don't get it here, you're not going to get it anywhere. In other words, eternity is now. It's not a time, it's not a place, it's right now. That's all we have. And I've said for years and years in my lives and spirit walks and podcasts, none of us know. I don't care how strong our experience has been. I've had my wife and I with witness, incarnations. I mean, holographic projections, physical apparitions, but we still don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be warm dirt when this is over, but I know what I've been given and the things that we're all starting to share with each other. And how do I know or not know that the very thoughts I carry forward, faith, trust, believe, to trust, believe, isn't actually what happens? And in a quantum thought reality, that seems to be where it's coming, what it's come to. And so I had no idea that this would be this kind of experience. And whether it's one time or 100 more times for me, this has been timely, synchronistic, and I hold it in the highest reverence. And if I don't see you, I'll see you again. And if it's not on this side, it'll be on the other side, or both. Thank you very much for your presence and your openness, and for the experience, all of you. You're muted.
Thank you so much. You're such a beautiful, beautiful soul, Todd. Really, really glad to have met you. And I honor all of you. Thank you so much. I just want to say, Todd, first of all, you do not look 63. But at the same time, you have an eternal energy, like you have an eternal wisdom. And Denise, I want to say to you that, you are just incredible in your growing of your soul, and your nurturing is so deep. And you're such a powerful healer, and I honor you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Grethe, your journey is just constantly unfolding, and your bravery and your courage to step into the truth of who you are, it's so inspiring and incredible. Thank you. And Bonnie, I know that you're in your 70s, right? But you are getting younger and younger and younger and younger.
That's why I keep coming back here.
I see like your face is like reverse aging every time I see
You're
you.
funny.
It's true.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. God bless
Thank you.
all, and see you in a couple of weeks, I hope. If not,
Thanks so much. Thank you,
whenever.
Grethe. I appreciate you and Tamara so much. That was absolutely wonderful. Really.
It really was.
Thank you.
It
Thank you,
moved
guys.
me.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Love you all. Have a
Love you
wonderful
too.
evening.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye,
Take care.
everybody.
Bye.